We are live.
Hey everybody, Greg Harrelson here and Abe Safa for another weekly edition of our Myrtle Beach Real Estate TV. As you can see, I've got a jacket on, and quite frankly, I've walked outside a few times and it is chilly. Now, for those of you that might see this that are in the Northeast, I know that there's a big snowstorm, and you're probably thinking that I don't know what cold is, and you're probably right, but it is cold for me. So Abe, I see you must be nice and warm, but I know you have a long sleeve on. I can see that.
I've got a sweater and I've got the heat up.
And you got the heat up.
And the lights. It's toasty in here.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's go ahead and talk about the real estate market. You know, I mean, it's been another great week, another active week. I know we're talking about the inventory crisis. And we say it's an inventory crisis because I suspect we may see fewer sales in the year. Maybe I'm wrong, but we may see a fewer sales this year than we did last year. And it won't be because there's not enough buyers. It's because there's not enough sellers. But hey, before we go into numbers, a conversation that I wanted to have with you and share is this. I've been getting, I have sellers or property owners that are calling me and saying, hey, Greg, I'd love to sell my home or condo if they live there. I would, and because I'd like to take advantage of these high prices. They've heard that, you know, their next door neighbor put their property on the market at a high price. There was 20 showings, 6 offers. It sold for $5,000, $10,000 over full price. The word's kind of getting out. And so people are calling and saying, hey, I want to sell my property, but the problem is I don't have another property. I don't have another property to purchase yet. I haven't found another property to purchase, and I don't want to make 2 moves. So you got property owners that are interested in selling at a high price. I don't blame them, but they're afraid they're not going to be able to take advantage of the high prices because they haven't started their search on their new property, or maybe the inventory is low wherever they're going to move to. So one of the things that we've been successful doing in that situation is we've went ahead and list the properties for sale at that higher price that they want, getting a lot of showings. And then what we're doing is we're negotiating a lease back where the buyer buys the property, closes the property, but then leases the property back to the owner for a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe even 6 months. And when I say lease back, it's not lease back and gouge the seller as if I'm going to lease it back for more money and make that original seller pay too much money in rent. No, it's a fair lease back. And a lot of times it's a lease back at a price that's lower than the market value for a lease in that area. Now, why would a buyer accept those terms? Well, the buyer is more open to those terms and leasing back properties to the original sellers because there's no inventory for them to buy. So if their option is, I can not agree to lease it back to you, not contract and buy your property, and then just be sitting here waiting for the next property, which seems to not be coming on too frequent and not enough volume or not enough inventories coming on. So they're waiting for months and months trying to find a property. So instead of waiting to find a property, why not just go ahead and buy the property that they already found, agree to some sort of lease back. So now they've known they've secured their property, and now it's just a matter of waiting for you to secure your property, and then they'll go ahead and move into the property. So have you seen those situations yet? I know that these conversations are starting to come up. I don't know if you've negotiated any of those yourself, Abe.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that conversation is coming up more and more often.
Yeah.
Right now, it's like, okay, I'd love to sell and capitalize on these great prices, but where would I go? I can't find anything to replace it. And when I do, I need time to be able to find something. So that is a very creative way to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and it helps both sides. So the seller buys more time, and then the buyer is able to lock in and know for sure that they've got a home, right? Yeah. Especially in an appreciating market like we're seeing right now, they want to lock it in as soon as possible. So even if it means renting it back for 2, 3, 6 months, it's still worthwhile for them if the market's going up.
And as the owner, you have your money. So when you're going out there and shopping for the next property, you're not having to write contingencies on contingent upon my home selling and things like that. You're already past that stage, which in your next negotiation, the fewer contingencies and stipulations that you put into the contract, the stronger your offer is. So if you make an offer on a property and you don't have it contingent upon selling, you've already sold your property, and your offer is slightly less to somebody else's offer that makes it contingent upon selling, the next property owner's probably going to sell it to you at a slightly less price with no contingencies than take a risk as to whether or not this property ever sells, the other person's property ever sells, and they ever close on the new purchase. So it actually puts you in a much more powerful position to negotiate with the next property owner.
Yeah, and it gives you flexibility, so you can move a whole lot quicker as well, which is definitely going to help you and get more leverage.
Yeah, right. Well, tell us about the numbers.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers is just, it's crazy how they just keep getting, inventory keeps getting less and less, right? I keep waiting for that 1 week and say, okay, we finally have stopped going down in inventory. We've leveled off and we're starting to see the inventory go back up, especially for this time of year going into, it's already February 3rd, right? So typically right now, we usually see inventory start to go up.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's just not happening. So I'll throw the numbers up here real quick. So single family homes right now, again, that number keeps going down. The number of homes available is going down. The number pending is going up. As a percentage, it's up to 56% of every home on the market right now is under contract, which is an insane number. I actually went back and I wanted to give people a reference point. Went back and looked at February of last year, what the inventory was. So right now we're looking at 4729 total homes on the market. This is including to be built and under construction, which kind of skews the numbers a little bit. So it's if I took those numbers out, it'd be really scary.
Yeah.
But last year, comparing apples to apples, we had 5,556 homes on the market. So 827 homes right now compared to last year at this time. And pendings last year were 1812, and right now they're 2661. So
that's incredible.
Big. So last year was 32.6% of the homes on the market were under contract. 36%. Right now it's 56%. So huge numbers. And I wanted to throw in last year's number just as a reference because I think it really shows the stuff that we've been talking about, how tight the inventory is. Resale homes, again, up from last week. Almost 54% of all homes on the market. I also went back in and I crunched some numbers, Greg. You're going to find this interesting. What is actually available out there for people. So like right now, if you took the Grand Strand, 719 homes available total. Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, Surfside, Garden City, Merle's Inlet. I counted Little River, Cherry Grove, and then I also counted Longs. Total of 719 homes in all of those areas right now. Under $100,000, there's 58 homes on the market. Between $100,000 and $200,000, 122 homes on the market. Between $200,000 and $300,000 price point, which is pretty much the sweet spot in this market, there's only 147 homes available. Between $300,000 and $500,000, 179 homes. Between $500,000 and $1 million, 159 homes, and then above $1 million, there's 54 homes. So if you're looking really 100 to 300,000, you're only talking 269 homes available in the entire market.
In our market, I don't know what this real number is, but I can just estimate based on my own websites themselves. There'll be over 1,000 buyers. There'll probably be over 1,000 buyers. There'll probably be over 1,000 buyers today, minimum, that will inquire about buying real estate, either through calling us, not just us, in the market, all agents, that through calls or emails looking to buy property. So when you think about that, let's just say that between 800 and 1,000 new buyers today in the marketplace will reach out to some agent at some company. And and out of that, there's only in each of those categories, there's only about 100 properties, a little bit more, 100 to 150 properties.
Yeah. So
in our sweet spot between 1 to 300, you said there's like 200 and something properties, but there'll be 800 to 1,000 new buyers today.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about an inventory crisis, that's the issue. Let me tell you, it's a great issue for sellers, but it's only a great issue for sellers in the event that they're a seller today. Like this, just like in the past, because this inventory levels we haven't seen since like 2006. Well, just like in 2006, it wasn't but a year or two later that the market shifted and all of a sudden we didn't see these numbers anymore. So it's going to be temporary. So the people who are selling right now, Gosh, and one of my the agents in my office, I was talking to her this weekend. She goes, "You're not going to believe this. I just sold a property. I negotiated $35,000 over list price, no appraisal, no financing contingency, and they're getting financing, $10,000 earnest money check, in an agreement to lease the property back to the seller for 60 days. Like, that seller got everything they wanted and more.
They got the whole buffet.
Now, she's a good negotiator. There's no question about it. And she was negotiating on behalf of her seller like we do. But if the market shifts a little bit, in a year from now, 2 years from now, if it was to shift, and I'm not calling it for it to shift, but if it was, we'll never be able to get overpriced at that level or negotiate all of those terms. We might be able to get one or two of those terms, but but to get all of those terms is just a product of low inventory.
Yeah, just in a weeks, I've got homes on the contract. Both two of those homes have non-refundable security deposit. Non-refundable.
Yes.
One is 5,000, one is 10,000, because they wanted to lock in. We had multiple offers. They wanted to lock in the home. They made their money non-refundable.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's a good situation to put our sellers in, because if the buyer does walk, they get a $5,000 or $10,000 check, and then we do it all over again. Now, that's not what we want, but what we're doing is we're trying to minimize the risk of a seller by doing this.
Yeah, we'll
make sure it closes.
Yeah. We're protecting our client. So back to what you were saying about the number of buyers today. I assure you, okay, I'm willing to bet anything on this, that if all the buyers that are looking right now, okay, and when I say all the buyers, I don't mean people just window shopping or just dreaming of buying a home at some point. I'm talking about pre-qualified buyers that are in the market right now looking. If every one of them had to pull the trigger today, there's not enough homes.
Yes, right.
There's definitely more demand, more buyers than we have homes on the market right now. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, not everybody's buying today, and there are different stages in the buying cycle. But there's that many buyers out there relative to the amount of inventory.
Yeah, I agree. Any other data you have to share?
Yeah, let me just go through the rest of them. So we'll do new construction real quick. Very strong number there again, 58%. It just keeps getting tighter and tighter. Mm-hmm. Looking at the condo market, this to me keeps surprising me week after week. Again, I keep waiting for this number to go down. It's just not going down. The number of units on the market, 2,715, pending 1084. That's almost 40% of every single condo on the market. Went back and looked at last year's numbers. Last year, there was 3,229 condos on the market, and only 819 were pending, which is about a 25% pending rate. So right now, we're close to 40%. So 514 less condos on the market today than there was last year at this point. Yeah. So we're definitely seeing that shrink. A whole lot less in condos. Yeah,
it's interesting. It's amazing how it keeps going. And then the oceanfront.
Yeah, there's the oceanfront there, 27%. Mm-hmm. So extremely. I mean, these numbers, we don't see these in the summertime. So again, we're going to see it very interesting. I'm watching these numbers daily. Again, I'm waiting to see if they go up, but it's just doesn't seem to be happening. And then check this one out. Check out the land. 18.69%. Okay, you want to take a guess at what it was last year at this time?
Last year, I'm going to say 7%.
It was a little bit better. It was 9%. It was 9.3% last year at this point. Mm-hmm. So it's selling at twice the pace as they were selling last year. Last year there was 3,056 lots on the market. Right now it's 2,343. Only 286 pending last year. So everything across the board right now is strong. Everything is selling. If you have been thinking all about selling, I mean, this is the time. This is really the time to jump on this, because like you said, we just don't know. It may continue, it may not.
Yeah. And I'm even telling people, hey, look, if you're thinking about selling, but you don't want to put it up, on the market for 6 months or something like that, heck, give me a call. Let me know what you have. I'll check with our buyers, and we may have a buyers waiting on the waiting list that wants your property. So feel free to give us a call about that. And when it comes back to the land, I just helped the buyer contract on two lots this week already. And on both of those lots, they're going to build spec homes on there. And I predict that they'll be able to buy those lots, build the house, And before the house is even complete, they'll have both of those houses sold.
Yeah.
Be no doubt in my mind.
I
All right. Well, hey, if you want to reach out to myself, Greg Harrelson, or Abe Safa, Century 21, the Harrelson Group, feel free to reach out. There's our cell numbers right there. You can call us, text us, and we're here. Whether you're thinking about selling or not thinking about selling, we are in the business of empowering consumers, property owners like yourselves, with information and making sure you make good, sound real estate decisions. So please lean on us. We're here for you. Abe, thanks again for another great week, and we'll chat soon.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye-bye.